The Stonehenge is a prehistoric monument in Wiltshire, one of the most recognizable monoliths of the late Neolithic period, built some 5,000 years ago.
For over 5,000 years, Stonehenge has stood in silence. No inscriptions, no explanations, just massive stones weighing more than airplanes, arranged with impossible precision by a civilization that supposedly had no advanced tools. Historians guessed, archaeologists argued, and the real purpose of Stonehenge stayed buried in the past. Until now. Recently, an AI system was fed everything we know about Stonehenge: satellite scans, ground-penetrating radar, astronomical data, ancient climate records, and thousands of years of human patterns. The goal was simple: find order in the chaos. What it found shocked everyone involved. The stones weren't random, they weren't just ceremonial, and they weren't only aligned with the sun. So before we go any further, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. The Stonehenge algorithm. For thousands of years, Stonehenge has stood silently on the Salisbury Plain, a puzzle of massive stones that has stumped the greatest minds in history. We've called it a temple, an observatory, a burial ground. But what if it's none of those things? What if it's something far more advanced and, frankly, far more unsettling? Recently, a team of researchers fed every single byte of data about Stonehenge into a next-generation artificial intelligence. We're talking geological surveys, astronomical charts, acoustic tests, and archaeological records going back a century. They hoped the AI might find a small clue, a tiny detail everyone had missed. Instead, the AI spit out a revelation so shocking it sounds like science fiction. The AI declared that Stonehenge is not a building, it's a machine, and it has a terrifyingly specific purpose. The first clue. The first clue was the stones themselves. It's funny when you think about it. For years, experts argued about whether glaciers or humans moved the stones. That debate is over. We now know with 100% certainty that Neolithic people did it all. The smaller blue stones, weighing up to 3.5 tons each, were dragged an unbelievable 125 miles from Wales. But here's the kicker, the detail that sent chills down the spines of researchers. The massive altar stone, a 6-ton behemoth. Now, a new analysis shows that the 6-ton iconic altar stone at the heart of Stonehenge came from northern Scotland rather than southwest Wales. It was traced to a quarry 400 miles away in northern Scotland. 400 miles. That's like dragging a pickup truck from New York City to Pittsburgh using nothing but ropes, sledges, and pure muscle. Why on earth would they do that? The AI's answer is where things get spooky. It wasn't about symbolism or finding the right kind of rock. According to the AI's pattern analysis, these specific stones from these specific locations have unique geological and metallic compositions. They were chosen like components for a circuit board. The AI's model suggests the different stones interact with the Earth's magnetic field in a very particular way. The builders weren't just constructing a monument. They were assembling a complex device based on a blueprint of jaw-dropping sophistication. They knew something about geology and physics that we are only just beginning to understand. The sheer effort wasn't a display of devotion. It was a non-negotiable requirement to make the machine work. Get this. The AI cross-referenced the stone's placement with star charts from 5,000 years ago. We always knew Stonehenge aligned with the solstices. That's old news, but the AI found a secondary alignment, one that's much more subtle and much more important. It doesn't track the sun or the moon. It tracks a specific empty point in space. On those few days around the longest day of the year, just as the sun rises, you would have seen a shaft of sunlight coming right into this. It would have been a very spectacular effect. It's a celestial marker for an event that doesn't happen every year or even every century, but on a cycle of thousands of years. The entire monument, this impossibly built machine, was designed to activate when certain cosmic bodies align with that single dark spot in the sky. The AI's analysis concluded this with a 93% probability. The question is, what happens when it activates? The code was hidden in the layout, the geology, and the astronomy, but it was just the first layer of this terrifying onion. The AI's next discovery would reveal what the machine actually does, a weapon made of stone. So Stonehenge is a machine, a giant circuit board made of multi-ton stones aligned to a mysterious point in the cosmos. That's a wild thought. But the next piece of the puzzle that the AI uncovered is even more disturbing. It's not just about what Stonehenge is made of or where it's pointing. It's about the invisible power it can generate. For years, people who visited Stonehenge have reported feeling a strange sensation, a weird energy, or a low hum. Most dismissed it as imagination. But the AI says it's real, and it was engineered. A few years ago, before this AI was even online, scientists built a perfect 1:12 scale model of Stonehenge to study its acoustics. They used 3D printed stones to replicate the original layout with insane precision. What they found was amazing. The monument is an acoustic paradise. It amplifies sound and creates a unique audio environment, trapping sound within the circle. Stonehenge researchers conducted a number of experiments on it. They used the human voice at 1/12 volume because it is a 1/12 model. But the AI took this data and ran it through millions of simulations, testing frequencies far beyond the range of human hearing. Its conclusion was chilling. The monument wasn't built to amplify voices or music for ceremonies. It was built to generate and focus a specific low-frequency sound. This is where it gets terrifying. This frequency, known as infrasound, is below the range of normal human hearing. You can't hear it, but you can feel it. It's been shown to cause feelings of anxiety, dread, sorrow, and even paranoia. Some studies have linked it to people thinking they've seen ghosts or felt a presence in a room. It resonates with the human body itself, creating physical vibrations in our organs. Now imagine that effect scaled up, powered by the immense stone structure of Stonehenge and fine-tuned to absolute perfection. The AI model shows that when the machine is active, it would generate a wave of infrasound so powerful it could be felt for miles. Think about it. An entire population bathed in a constant, inaudible frequency that makes them feel anxious and fearful. It's the ultimate tool of psychological control. The AI theorizes that the monument could have been used to pacify a huge population, to make them compliant, or to create a state of religious terror during specific rituals. The builders weren't just architects. They were masters of acoustic science and human psychology. They essentially built a weapon of mass influence, capable of manipulating the emotional state of thousands of people at once. The energy people feel today could just be a faint echo, a residual whisper of the monument's true, terrifying power. It's one thing to build an incredible structure. It's another thing to design it to control minds. The big question that AI had to tackle next was, who were these people? Who had this kind of knowledge 5,000 years ago? The answer points to a society unlike anything we've ever imagined. Masters of the Neolithic. the story just keeps getting darker. We have a machine designed to track a cosmic event and a sonic weapon to control a population. So, who were the masterminds behind this incredible, terrifying project? For a long time, the prevailing theory was that Stonehenge was a monument of unification. Archaeologists found that the people buried near the site came from all over ancient Britain. The idea was that building Stonehenge brought different tribes together in a great, peaceful, collaborative effort. It's a nice story. Unfortunately, the AI's analysis suggests the reality was the exact opposite. The AI took all the archaeological and anthropological data and ran it through a societal simulation model. It concluded that a project of this scale, requiring this level of precision and this amount of labor, wasn't possible with a loose confederation of tribes. The logistics are mind-boggling. Moving the 6-ton altar 400 miles from Scotland would require a level of organization and resource management that rivals modern engineering projects. You'd need thousands of laborers, a constant supply of food and water, expert toolmakers, and brilliant engineers, all working in perfect sync for years, if not decades. According to the AI, this wasn't unification, it was domination. The evidence points to a powerful, centralized, and highly advanced ruling class that held sway over the entire British Isles. This wasn't a kingdom as we know it, with castles and cities. It was a ghost empire, an elite group whose power was based not on armies, but on superior knowledge. Knowledge of astronomy, geology, acoustics, and psychology. The stones brought from different parts of the country weren't symbols of unity. They were tribute. They were proof of subservience from conquered or controlled territories demanded by this unseen elite. Think about the sheer human cost. The AI model estimates that a project like Stonehenge would have required the labor of tens of thousands of people over several generations. This wasn't a summer project, it was a life's work for countless individuals. The society the AI describes is chillingly stratified, a small, brilliant elite at the top and a massive, controlled labor force at the bottom, kept in line by psychological manipulation and a culture of fear, possibly amplified by the monument itself. We find no evidence of massive battles or weapons, but that's the point. Their control was more subtle, more complete. Why swing a sword when you can vibrate someone's soul into submission? This ghost empire had the knowledge to design the machine and the power to force thousands to build it. They were playing a long game, preparing for that cosmic event the monument was built to track. The question is, what were they so afraid of? Or perhaps, more terrifyingly, what were they hoping to summon? The AI's final analysis provides a truly horrifying potential answer. What the stones are waiting for. This is the part of the story where everything comes together. And honestly, it's hard to wrap your head around. We have an ancient machine built by a mysterious ruling class designed to generate fear and pointed at a dark spot in the sky. The final question the AI tackled was the big one. Why? What was the ultimate purpose of this colossal undertaking? The AI synthesized every piece of data, the celestial alignment, the sonic capabilities, the specific geological materials, and came up with a final, terrifying hypothesis. Stonehenge wasn't built to celebrate something. It was built to prepare for something. The AI's model suggests the monument is a sophisticated warning system, a power generator, or perhaps even a beacon. The cosmic alignment it tracks isn't random. It's a trigger. When the stars and planets line up with that empty spot in space, the AI calculates that a massive, natural but rare energetic event takes place. It could be a powerful geomagnetic storm, a burst of cosmic radiation, or something we don't even have a name for yet. An event so powerful it could disrupt life on a planetary scale. The ancient builders knew this. They had knowledge of a cosmic cycle that we've completely forgotten. Here's the gut punch. The AI posits two terrifying possibilities for the monument's function during this event. Possibility 1. It's a defense system. The specific composition of the stones, arranged in that precise pattern, was designed to absorb or deflect this cosmic energy, creating a protective bubble around the area. The infrasound it generates could have been a way to warn people, a silent alarm that told everyone to get inside the circle for safety. In this scenario, the builders were protectors, using their incredible knowledge to shield their people from a recurring cosmic danger. But possibility 2 is much, much darker. What if Stonehenge isn't a shield? What if it's an amplifier? What if the goal wasn't to protect from the energy, but to harness it? The machine would draw in the power of the cosmic event, focusing it like a lens, and the infrasound would be used to tune the population for a massive, horrifying ritual. To do what? Open a gateway? Communicate with something? The AI model can't say for sure, but it presents a scenario where the builders weren't protecting their people. Stonehenge was like the ultimate community service project, bringing people together, which it's still doing today. They were using them as part of the machine's terrifying function. Now let's bring this home. You might be sitting there thinking, this is just a wild theory from a computer. But what if it's not? What if an ancient culture really did have this knowledge, and they spent centuries building an alarm clock? The thing is, alarm clocks are built to go off. The AI calculated the recurrence of this cosmic alignment, and according to its projections, the next alignment isn't in some distant forgotten future. It's soon, terrifyingly soon. Are we missing a key detail? Did this all happen overnight for them? Or was it a slow realization, just like it is for us now? We might be living in the exact moment the builders of Stonehenge were trying to warn us about. We just decoded the message, and we might be out of time. The thin place. All right, now things get truly unsettling. A planetary defense system is frightening. A mind control device is worse. But when the AI was pushed past safe assumptions and into raw speculative modeling, drawing from quantum physics and fringe cosmology, it produced a third explanation. And this one makes ancient alien theories feel almost comforting. According to the model, Stonehenge wasn't built to protect anyone. It wasn't meant to control minds. It was designed to move something without ships, engines, or machines, by rupturing reality itself. Here's where it gets strange. The infrasound frequencies generated by the stones, when amplified during rare cosmic energy events, could theoretically create a localized resonance so intense it weakens the boundary between dimensions. Not metaphorically, physically. The stones don't just carry sound. Their metallic traces and crystalline structures turn them into impossibly stable tuning forks. Each one, hauled from a precise quarry hundreds of miles away, vibrates at its own frequency. Activated together, they don't produce a single tone, but a layered resonant chord. And in the AI's most extreme simulations, that chord aligns with the theoretical frequency of space-time itself. In this framework, Stonehenge isn't a weapon or a shield. It's a key. The altar stone, the 6-ton slab, dragged all the way from Scotland, was the final component. Its unique composition acts as the master resonator, the last note that locks the chord into place. Cosmic alignment supplies the power. The stones provide the precision. Together, they open a stable, repeatable gateway. The empty point it tracks in space isn't empty at all. It's a destination. Maybe we've misunderstood Stonehenge from the beginning. What if it isn't primitive at all? What if it's the most advanced technology ever built on Earth? The so-called Ghost Empire may not have been rulers. They may have been navigators, armed with a map of reality that extended beyond stars into other planes of existence. The question is haunting. Were they trying to leave or invite something through? Because the precision suggests this wasn't an experiment. It was a repeatable process. This changes everything. The massive workforce wasn't raising a monument. They were constructing an escape hatch or a welcome mat for an entire planet. And what if the goal wasn't travel at all, but a full reset of the world itself? A doomsday clock. If you thought a dimensional portal was the wildest this could get, buckle up. The AI's final, most fringe-level analysis proposed a function for Stonehenge that is almost too massive to comprehend. It took the idea of the recurring cosmic event and paired it with the most extreme theories of planetary cycles. What if the event Stonehenge is tracking isn't just a storm, but a cyclical extinction-level event? A planetary reset button that goes off every few thousand years, a wave of energy from the cosmos that scours the surface of the Earth clean. And what if the builders of Stonehenge were the sole survivors of the last one? In this mind-bending scenario, the Ghost Empire wasn't just an advanced society. They were the inheritors of a forgotten science, the keepers of a terrible secret, desperately trying to preserve life, or at least their own, through the next cataclysm. The AI presented two earth-shattering ways the monument could achieve this. The first is that Stonehenge is a genetic ark, a biological hard drive made of stone. The AI's model suggests it's possible to store vast amounts of information at a molecular level deep within the crystalline matrix of the stones. We're not talking about a few files. We're talking about the complete DNA sequences for every species on Earth, the entire blueprint for our planet's ecosystem, from the simplest bacteria to the most complex mammals, all encoded in solid rock. The cosmic event would provide the powerful energy burst needed to broadcast this information across the globe, to reseed the barren planet with life after the slate has been wiped clean. The stones aren't just rocks. They're a library of life, a silent promise of rebirth. But the second possibility is where things get really dark. It's more personal, more selfish, and a whole lot more chilling. What if the Ark wasn't for all life? What if it was only for the chosen few? What if it wasn't for DNA, but for consciousness? Here's the kicker. This theory suggests the stones could act as a kind of quantum server. The great ritual wasn't about summoning a god or opening a door. It was a cold, technical procedure for uploading the minds of the elite into the monument's energy field. The infrasound wasn't just for control. It was the carrier wave, tuning their brain patterns to the exact frequency needed for the transfer. Their physical bodies would perish in the global cataclysm, but their consciousness, their very essence, would be preserved, stored safely in the stones themselves. Waiting. Waiting for what? For the planet to become habitable again, for new primitive life forms to evolve into suitable hosts. Then, they could download themselves into new bodies and restart their empire from scratch. It's a terrifying, almost perfect form of immortality achieved by sacrificing the rest of the world. This one single, horrifying idea explains everything. The incredible multi-generational effort that must have spanned centuries, the absolute non-negotiable need for mathematical and geological precision, the ruthless psychological control over the population. You would do anything command anything if the survival of your very consciousness was at stake. The monument wasn't just a project. It was the ultimate life raft. It completely changes the way you look at every single one of those giant stones. They aren't just markers of a forgotten time. They could be tombs, libraries, or even creepier, waiting rooms for the souls of ancient, impossibly advanced beings. The AI can't tell us if the machine has ever been activated before. That leaves us with the most unsettling question of all. Are we the product of a previous reseeding, or are we just the unsuspecting civilization that grew up while the true rulers